There's something evil stalking the streets of Derry, Maine. It lurks in the sewers, and it feeds on unsuspecting children. Perhaps the scariest part, it's been doing this for centuries. Watching, waiting, and feeding. But now it may have finally met its match in the Losers Club, a group of preteen outcasts who decide to take matters into their own hands and take on this ancient creature once and for all. To horror fans everywhere, this creature is known as Pennywise the Dancing Clown, but that's just one of many shapes taken by it. Time to get spooky, listeners, because this is Filmgazm. Another week goes down the drain, and Wednesday is upon us once more. Welcome to Filmgazm, where we love movies, especially horror movies, and we give our 2 cents on some of the best and worst ones out there. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre, your humble host in a creepy red wig and big floppy shoes. With me is my co-host Austin Johnson, who slightly resembles a 90s-era Tim Curry holding a big bunch of balloons. This week sees the release of the long-awaited finale to Andy Muschietti's Pennywise saga, It Chapter 2. So what better time to delve into the backstory of what many consider to be Stephen King's scariest story? We'll talk about the book and the weirdness within, the 1990 miniseries with a cult following, and the 2017 horror film that started the Stephen King film renaissance every horror fan has been enjoying the hell out of for 2 straight years. In a few weeks, it'll be another Weird Shit Wednesday, where we take a break from horror every 5th episode to get a little bit reflective on a larger topic, usually an iconic filmmaker's career or whatever else we feel like talking about. Episode 30 will be about the Joker, the iconic DC Comics character whose portrayals always seem to bring about the most controversy due to the layered insanity the character brings to the table. Every actor to portray or voice the character has their own following, and they've all shown us different sides to the Joker's madness. We'll talk about the character's comic origins, shine a spotlight on the various actors who've played him, as well as predict what we think we're going to get out of the new film Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix as the Clown Prince of Crime. Don't miss it, folks. There'll be a lot of that on episode 30. Now, before we take a look at another way scarier evil clown, let's go into the Rewind, where we go back into the Filmgazm catalog and update any past episodes. Got 2 for you this week. A Saw update and a Roman Polanski update.
Oh boy.
First up, word on the street is the new Saw reboot is wrap production. Director Darren Lynn Bousman, a Saw legacy, announced via Twitter that filming is done. It's set to open theaters May 15th, 2020, and it'll star Chris Rock as an investigating cop, Max Minghella as his partner, Marisol Nichols as his boss, and Samuel L. Jackson as his father. No word yet on whether Jigsaw himself, Tobin Bell, is returning to the franchise. Here's hoping.
I'm very hopeful. I feel like Max Minghella would not take this role if it wasn't kind of serious in his career, where he's at in his career.
Yeah.
The other guys you haven't already, Samuel L., Chris Rock.
But Chris Rock doing Saw,
we'll see.
Not just in it, but writing it.
He's going to be in he's going to be in Fargo.
Yeah,
season 4. So maybe he's stretching those wings.
Apparently, yeah. I'm excited, but honestly, if Tobin Bell's not in it, I'm not going to go. I'll wait for the DVD unless Tobin Bell's in it.
Fair enough. I'll probably wait for the DVD either way, because that's what I have to. that's just what I have to do a lot these days. But
yeah.
We'll see. Well,
I'm a big fan of Saw. I'm glad at least Darren Lynn Bousman's returning, so we have somebody who's done this before,
for sure,
doing it again. But are they just going to erase 8 films and start anew? I don't like that at all.
Neither do I.
Well, we'll see next May, and it's in May, not October. Breaking the Saw tradition. So
yeah.
Fuck, man.
They must be starting something new. Yeah.
It better be great. Now, for a Roman Polanski update, we all know who he is. We all know what he's done. We all know what movies he's done. If not, check out episode 10.
That's all we'll say.
He raped a 13-year-old. The director's new film, An Officer and a Spy, premiered at the Venice Film Festival on August 30th and received a 5-minute standing ovation. I couldn't just let it slide. He did that. We need to acknowledge that every time.
yeah, fair enough. Oh my god.
But yeah, check out episode 10. We go in depth on what happened. So, An Officer and a Spy has been met with mixed reviews from most critics, despite the standing O. It doesn't yet have a release date in the United States. Currently sits at a 55% Rotten Tomatoes score, a 7.1 IMDb score. Tells the story of a French captain who is wrongfully accused of treason and exiled to Devil's Island in 1894 And knowing the current climate, I'd be surprised if this even gets a limited release in the U.S.
Yeah, much less would Polanski show up to the U.S., so...
Yeah, he's never... Nope. But...
Whatever.
I mean, his films have dipped in quality big time over the past 10 years, with Carnage being a rare exception.
And I know some people who hate that movie, so, yeah, few and far between for Roman.
But, you did what you did.
Raped a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, that's all for the rewind. Time for It. It was Stephen King's 22nd book, and it was released in 1986. This was his 22nd. This wasn't like his 4th or 5th. He'd already done 22 crazy good stories, and then he did It. The guy's amazing.
It really is ridiculous. This is, to me, I would have predicted this is like his first.
Yeah.
Because it's such this, it covers so much. There's so much evil in it that you would be like, oh, that must have been these. It feels like there's a lot of ideas bouncing around. It feels like, that would have been something, but no. Like you said, 22nd. This guy had already done so much. So much had come out of his head already.
Yeah, and so much to follow.
So insane.
The dude never switches off. It's amazing. He's got one coming out later this month.
No, and if he does switch off, he'll just do some cocaine and write a whole book in one night. So.
Oh my God. It clocks in at 1,138 pages. Follows a group of kids in the summer of 1958 in the small town of Derry, Maine, just up the highway from Castle Rock. If you make it to Jerusalem's Lot, you've gone too far. I love that he's got this whole state of made-up towns.
Yeah.
I love it.
Amazing.
Ugh. So these kids, Bill Denborough, the unofficial leader with a stutter, Beverly Marsh, the girl with no friends and an abusive father, Ben Hanscom, the fat new kid, Richie Tozier, the class clown, Mike Hanlon, the black outsider, Eddie Kasbrak, the hypochondriac, and Stan Uris, the Jewish Boy Scout. They all become very good friends over this summer as they are hunted and stalked by a vicious creature that takes the form of a clown named Pennywise. This creature can shapeshift into anything it wants, and it feeds on children in Derry every 27 years. Its true form is unknown due to its abilities, but I found what I believe to be the most detailed description of what it truly is on the Stephen King wiki page, and brace yourself, because this is some in-depth shit. It's not just a demon clown. It's an alien demon clown from another dimension. So here we go. Quote, It is a shape-shifting creature known as a glamour, who is billions of years old. Although it lived on planet Earth for many years, it originated in a void/dimension outside the regions of space known as the Macroverse. Since its true identity is unclear due to its shape-shifting abilities and being from another universe, its real name and species are called deadlights, but few know this, which is why it is referred to as It. The form of a female spider seems to be its true physical form on Earth, living deep below the fictional town of Derry, Maine. Its real name, if indeed it has one, is unknown, although several times in the novel it calls itself by the name Robert Bob Gray. This may be an allusion to real-life child cannibal Albert Fish, who reportedly used the name Robert Gray as an alias. He may also get his first name from Robert Bob Bell, the man who originally portrayed Bozo the Clown. Spooky stuff, particularly the connection to Albert Fish, one of the scariest human beings who ever lived. Google him if you don't know, but be warned, his life and crimes are going to make you sick.
For sure, yeah.
Fucking, ugh.
Don't go on the internet for Albert Fish with an empty stomach.
Or at work.
Yeah, no. Be alone.
So basically, Pennywise is an interdimensional demon god who feeds on children and has been around for billions of years. Okay. It's a weird book.
What a strange idea for...
Leave it to King to not just do Scary Clown or Scary Demon Clown, but to go that far and everyone's just like, all right.
Yeah, fair enough. Billions of years.
Good book.
Sounds good.
It has close ties with Maturin, a benevolent god turtle who appears in several King stories, particularly The Dark Tower. It may have come from the same universe as Roland Deschain, protagonist of the Dark Tower series, as in the final book, The Dark Tower 7, The Dark Tower, creative title, Roland and his friends come across a character named Dandello, who possesses very similar abilities to Pennywise. I love all these connections between his stories.
Oh, it's amazing. There's not a lot of writers who have,
We don't get a lot of that in the movies, but the books are loaded.
Oh, yeah.
And thankfully the film, both of them, dialed back the interdimensional stuff, as this would have been way too confusing. Like,
it would have had to be a 10-hour movie.
Yeah. What the fuck? But, yeah, I've read all the Dark Tower books, and
I've only read the first one.
They're good.
Oh yeah, I hear great things.
They're convoluted as fuck, but they're good. But yeah, I remember Dandello, and he's very much a Pennywise-like character. Mm-hmm. And I totally buy the idea that they're from the same place.
Hell yeah.
And
that's fantastic.
The whole maturing thing and this... Fuck, man. One of the book's pivotal moments, the Ritual of Chewd, does not appear in either adaptations, excluding It Chapter 2, because there's no way we would know that at this point.
Yes.
In the book, the Ritual of Chewd is the only way to stop it. It's essentially a psychic battle between it and the Losers Club in which belief becomes reality and the strongest will comes out on top. Scenes like this are what's led to a lot of King fans making a connection with The Shining. And I fucking love this. I mentioned this in the very first episode of Filmgazm, but I'm going to talk about it again because it's fucking awesome.
It's great stuff, yeah. Buckle up.
Yeah. The theory goes that Pennywise is not just after kids, but he's after kids with the shine. The Losers Club all came together because they were trying to escape abuse or neglect at home, not just because of Pennywise, because their home lives fucking sucked. Abuse is the leading cause of The Shining, as it manifested in Danny Torrance shortly after he was assaulted by his drunk, raving lunatic father, Jack. Also, since Pennywise can shapeshift into whatever he wants, the theory suggests that the evil in the Overlook Hotel is none other than another form of Pennywise, trying to milk every last drop of fear out of the Torrance family. Now, I don't know if any of this was intentional or not, but it's cool.
It's awesome, yeah.
What do you think?
Even if it's just a internet conspiracy, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in on that. And I'm going to believe it because it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason to think, Pennywise isn't the bad guy in every single Stephen King story.
Exactly, yeah. That is the ultimate bad guy for King's entire universe.
Yeah. Well, him or Randall Flagg, but still, it's such a fucking... It's so cool. So, while we're on the subject of the book, there's one scene that pretty much everyone is thankful didn't make it into any film adaptation. The preteen orgy. Your ears are working just fine, listeners. I said preteen orgy. I don't know how this episode turned into the preteen, having sex episode. But
sorry,
Polanski and it just worked out that way.
It's Wednesday? I don't know.
September. After they defeat Pennywise's kids, they become lost in the network of tunnels beneath Derry. So in order to bring the group together spiritually, Beverly suggests they all take turns having sex with her. As you do. I mean, I know when I get lost in the woods, my immediate reaction is, I gotta fuck all of the people I'm with, or I'm never gonna get out of here.
It's gonna take way longer to get out of here if I don't sleep with all these people.
What the fuck? How do you get to that conclusion as a writer?
I don't know.
What the
cocaine?
I think this was after the cocaine.
It was. I just like to make that joke.
Cocaine. When we do Cujo, you're gonna have plenty of cocaine jokes.
Cocaine. You know what I had for breakfast?
Fucking hell. So, they all have sex with Beverly, and it gets uncomfortable for a few pages. Ultimately, it works and they escape the tunnels, but the reader is left with the same expression I had when I read it. Confusion, disgust, a feeling that the feds are going to kick down my door.
Disrespect. Just, okay. Do we really need that for the story to progress? Jesus.
Stephen King's been asked about this for decades, as well he should be. And he responded in kind of a weird half-handed way, which doesn't bode well. And this is what he said. Quote, I wasn't really thinking of the sexual aspect of it. The book dealt with childhood and adulthood, 1958 and grown-ups. The grown-ups don't remember their childhood. None of us remember what we did as children. We think we do, but we don't remember it as it really happened. Intuitively, the losers knew they had to be together again. The sexual act connected childhood and adulthood. It's another version of the glass tunnel that connects the children's library and the adult library. Times have changed since I wrote that scene, and there is now more sensitivity to those issues. What? That's your reasoning?
Thanks, Steve.
Times have changed since I wrote that? I don't remember a time when a bunch of kids having sex with each other was just okay. What?
In your lifetime, Steven?
This came out in 86.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Oh my god.
Christ almighty.
I've done a lot of research into this, and I have found no good reason behind why he did this. It made me stop reading the book.
Oh god. Understandably, it is truly frightening. And if it would have been depicted on screen, my god, this would have shattered some people's
Yeah.
some people's
You
worlds.
can't market a movie like that.
No, this movie would not have made whatever it made, $600, $700 million. It would not have made that. So
Not exactly great reasoning behind including a sex orgy among 12-year-olds in your book, Steve.
Yeesh, Steve.
God.
Not a good look, Steve. Tough beat.
But nobody, like, I mean, yeah, a lot of people who know the book know about this, but most people just, like, you know, they either don't know or they don't care. It's not like he didn't do anything. It's just fucking weird to write that in your book about scary clowns.
He wrote it, so it's from his mind, yeah.
He was thinking about this for a few pages. That's...
Yeah, a few out of the 1,000. Yeah, this had to be there.
Stephen King...
I couldn't cut out anything of 1,000 pages. I had to leave it all.
If you ever listen to this podcast, I am a big fan.
Yeah, you're amazing, but dude...
But, come on.
Yeah. Well, we
literally
do one of your stories once every 5 episodes. So
there's a king in every batch here.
We love your work.
Yeah. But come on.
Good God Almighty, this is crossing the line.
It's just fucking weird. Okay, that's enough about the book.
Oh man.
Let's go into the first adaptation of the film, the 1990 ABC miniseries It, starring international treasure Tim Curry as Pennywise. Tim Curry is one of my favorite actors, who I believe never got the mainstream respect he deserved.
Agreed.
He's appeared in such cult classics as The Rocky Horror Picture Show,
Oh yes.
Clue,
Oh yes.
Legend, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, The Three Musketeers, Congo, and Muppet Treasure Island, as well as a ton of British Shakespeare adaptations and voice work for cartoons. He is always busy.
What more can you want from a guy?
Yeah, he's amazing. Big, huge part of my childhood.
Yeah.
He tragically suffered a serious stroke in 2012 and lost the use of his legs. He's slowly been recovering, though I've heard his speech has been deteriorating lately. Amazingly, he still does the convention circuit and welcomes his fans' enthusiasm. He's a total class act. He seems like a wonderful person.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, a guy I can really get behind any movie he's in. Yeah.
Really, truly. The miniseries was split into 2 parts, with part 1 following the losers as kids fighting Pennywise in 1960, and part 2 seeing the losers returning to Derry as adults to destroy Pennywise for good 30 years later in 1990. Both parts were directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, director of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and Fright Night Part 2. So he's kind of the go-to guy for shitty sequels. That's the guy you want.
Oh, man.
The kids' part stars Jonathan Brandis as Bill Denborough, Emily Perkins as Beverly Marsh, Brandon Crane as Ben Hanscom, Seth Green as Richie Tozier, Marlon Taylor as Mike Hanlon, Adam Ferizal as Eddie Kasprak, and Ben Heller as Stan Uris. The adult part stars Richard Thomas as Bill Denborough, Annette O'Toole as Beverly Marsh, John Ritter as Ben Hanscom, Harry Anderson as Richie Tozier, Tim Reed as Mike Hanlon, Dennis Christopher as Eddie Kasprak, and Richard Mazer as Stan Uris. It also co-stars Olivia Hussey as Audra Denborough, Bill's wife, and Jared Blankard as Henry Bowers, neighborhood psychopath bully. What do you think of the cast of It, the miniseries? I know you were not a fan.
No, I'm not a fan. I wasn't ever really a fan, other than Pennywise. Like when I saw this growing up.
Yeah.
Because this was one I did watch as a kid. It's one of those, it's not too tough to watch.
No.
It's not very creepy at all.
At all. That's a big problem with it.
It's very cheesy. I guess, the highlight would be Tim Curry. Would be,
he's what everyone
Pennywise.
pretty much remembers from this.
Yeah, I've told you, it's not even like his performance that's bad or anything. His costume's a goddamn joke. It really is a travesty that they dressed up Tim Curry as fucking Ronald McDonald for fucking 3 hours. It's ridiculous. And you have got to watch these broken up. You cannot sit through the whole 3 hours, or you've lost your mind. Or this was like a huge movie for you as a kid. For me, no. Never did I love this movie. I recognize that it was not very good. And as time's gone on, I watched it just a couple days ago. It's bad.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty bad. Seth Green is like really funny as Tozier, but that's more because of what happened later in his career.
Yeah.
It's not that he's like a standout.
Yeah.
No one in this do I walk away thinking, yeah, that was a worthwhile performance. It was also a TV thing.
Yeah.
In 1990, big film movie actors weren't really doing TV like they do now. Like they do, they do stuff on HBO nowadays.
TV used to be considered where your career went to die.
Yeah, or you just weren't ever good enough to be on movies.
Yeah.
So, so no one in this to me is very memorable, or no one's to write home about.
There was a string of Stephen King miniseries in the 90s. They did It, the Tommyknockers, The Stand, The Langoliers. It was
The Stand.
The Shining, they did another one of those.
Yeah.
It's just kind of odd. I don't know. They were hesitant on doing... Well, probably because none of his films had been particularly profitable.
No, the 80s ones, no.
There was like Carrie and Kubrick's The Shining, and that was kind of it.
Yeah. Didn't do so hot in that decade. So, it was a thing, we weren't alive during that time, Connor and I, so we can't really say... I don't have an opinion on, like, the, it coming out, but the production of it, you can tell it's from TV.
Yeah.
You can very much tell, and you can tell by the actors that they hired that these are not very high-level people, so... What about you? I think, Tim Curry, like you said, is big for your childhood.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge, huge Rocky Horror fan. So I will always love him. And I will bear through these 3 hours just so I can see him, because I do love his career. Like you said, he seems like a stand-up guy. Seems like a great dude. But is there anyone who stands out for you or no?
No, just really Tim Curry. I mean, all the actors are there. They do the work, but nobody really stands out. Not like with the new one. With the new one, the kids could act. The kids were unforgettable. The new one, I don't remember anyone's name, and I just read them. It's really kind of sad.
Yeah.
I have a problem with this one because I tend to look at it through rose-colored glasses. Mm-hmm. I tend to look at it like, oh, that was great. And every time I watch it, all of that shit goes away, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is bad. Every time.
Well, yeah, because it's instilled in you as this classic because it's it.
Yeah.
And thank God we got the remake.
Oh, thank God.
Or the 2017, and now we have, coming up this weekend, we have part 2. So thank the Lord that happened for us as fans, man, because we needed a better representation of what could be his scariest story.
And not just that, but because of that movie's success, it opened the floodgates for so much more.
That too, oh yeah.
I'm so happy for that. We never would have gotten a Gerald's Game movie if it hadn't been a success.
No, straight to Netflix?
Yeah.
Come on, get out of here. Yeah, there's no way.
It's wonderful.
It's great stuff.
The plot of the miniseries is pretty close to the book, omitting an orgy or two, and I'd rather not go into the plot at this time, since there may be listeners who haven't seen this or read the book, and I don't want to potentially spoil It Chapter 2 for you. I don't know how close that's going to be.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I won't talk about that half. However, I'm almost positive the new film is not going to feature the same super anticlimactic ending as the book and the miniseries, so thank God.
Not at all. This is built up to be the biggest horror movie to ever happen in theaters. So they're going to go for it. It's going to be a great movie.
Yeah, and I mean, giant spiders just aren't as scary as killer clowns. I mean, you heard it here, folks.
You heard it here first.
King has always had kind of a problem with endings.
Yeah,
so weird. He's great at writing stories, but he can't fucking finish them.
He can go for 1,000 pages, but yeah.
Maybe that's why he was going for 1,000 pages. He's like, oh, fuck, how do I end this
Probably. Oh, maybe I'll end it with a preteen orgy. No, I gotta wrap shit. Yeah, I don't know.
We can't end with that.
I don't know.
Can you imagine if that
I need
was
100
the end
more
of the book?
pages. Oh, Lord have mercy.
All right.
That's not getting made into a movie.
So the miniseries has an IMDb score of 6.8 and a Rotten Tomatoes score of 59%. And I give it a 6.
6 is fair. 5 or 6, yeah.
And that's pretty much Tim Curry holding this thing up.
And again, just because it's it.
Yeah.
You're in Maine, you're in Derry, yeah. It's just they got that feel at times, but
everyone else is pretty terrible. But it is, like Austin was saying, it is TV.
Good God, these kids! There's that scene where Mike has the book from his dad.
Oh yeah,
and he's like sitting on the log, and he's like opening it. It is so bad because all of them are like, whoa, look at that, and there's a clown fucking moving on the page, and they're like, look at that, man.
I do love Pennywise in that scene where he's like, I'll drive you crazy and I'll kill you all.
Yeah, I'll kill you all. Yeah.
He's got a weird, Tim Curry's voice in this performance is like from like New York or something.
Yeah.
That was kind of odd.
Changing it up, yeah.
He's way too much
I'm going to give Pennywise a northeastern accent. Is that okay with you guys?
Well, I mean, it is Maine, but
yeah.
He sounds like...
I just don't know if Pennywise is exactly from there, yeah.
He's from some other universe.
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't know. But
a billion years old.
Tim Curry is way too much of a clown in this movie. I think that's a big problem of it. Pennywise isn't it is not Pennywise. Pennywise is a form of it.
Yes.
It, the larger creature, is this
the one that can talk,
soulless, demonic, evil monster that eats children. And Bill Skarsgård made that clear.
Yeah, because he makes that ego, that part of that ego of it, to be fucking frightening. And Tim Curry, unfortunately, again, it's not really his fault. The costume was so bad. It's like colorful. It's not scary at all. It's not. I don't know. Maybe. Do you think Heath Ledger's Joker has something to do with what makes the Pennywise, like the 2017 Pennywise, a little bit more scary, where it's like almost pale colors and a little bit.
So you think that
a little bit more like edgy, you know?
So like Heath Ledger's Joker kind of set a new standard for what we expect a scary clown to be.
Kind of, yeah.
That's very interesting.
I actually think that's true. I think that might be true because at the time it came out, and it was just he was scary.
Because this was a year after 1989's Batman with Jack Nicholson's Joker, who was very much played for laughs.
More colorful and
that could be something to that.
There might be
scary clowns flock together.
Well, of course, why not copy a movie like Batman, which made $1 billion? So
and Tim Curry, I believe, was up for that role. He was considered for that role.
Maybe we just unlocked something.
He would have been a fucking great Joker.
We're talking about the Joker in a couple weeks, so we'll get there.
We timed all this perfectly.
Yeah, we always do. We did with that Polanski and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and all that shit. Hope you guys were there for that. That was fun. Anyways.
A lot of the so-called scares in this are pretty goofy.
Yeah.
Even by 90s standards and TV standards. Pennywise's clown aspects are played up way more than his demon aspects.
Yep.
Although he does utter the great line, "I am eternal, child. I am the eater of worlds and of children." I was like,
so good.
But there's not a lot of moments in this movie that are particularly memorable.
I thought it was just some cool shit to say before I ate a kid, but...
Oh my god. Nice.
Oh,
so,
man.
Sixes.
Sixes. And really, I mean... I don't know. Probably more of a... I'll say 5.
Oh, okay.
if I'm being honest. It's not good. It's not. And I really don't... I don't think anyone needs to see this. You know?
Pretty much.
I don't... Even like big It fans, if you love the one from 2017, you really don't need to go... Just go see the new one on the weekend. Give them your money because it's going to be worth it. That's my 2 cents. I'm just being honest. It's not good.
Right on. Well, here's some Filmgazm facts about the miniseries. Number 1, Alice Cooper was considered for the role of Pennywise.
That would have been fun.
That was very weird. I'd see that. Number 2, when ABC first announced the film, it was to be a 10-hour miniseries directed by George Romero. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
But again, ABC.
Yeah. So either way it would have been cheesy, but at least it wouldn't have been so fucking convoluted and so chaotic.
This should have been an HBO production.
Oh my god. I don't even want to think about that, because that might be better than even what we're getting now, currently. Because can you imagine 10 episodes? 10 hours.
Well, Romero did extensive pre-production work and closely collaborated with Lawrence D. Cohen to develop the script, but he had to bow out due to a scheduling conflict with the remake of Night of the Living Dead, which came out the same year.
Of course, okay.
This mirrored Romero's experience on another Stephen King property, 1989's Pet Sematary, which he was also slated to direct. Huh.
Oh, man.
Did he ever get a King movie?
No.
Well, he had Creepshow.
Oh, duh.
Fuck. Yeah, there we go. So he did get something.
Yeah, he just did that. Yeah. That's it, though, right?
They were good friends. It's kind of a surprise.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it seems odd. Maybe they were... it just didn't work out.
Actually, I think Romero might have done the Dark Half.
I'm not 100% on that. Well, that'll be a rewind.
Yeah, I'm like 80% sure of that. But we'll find out.
I could roll with 80. I like 80. 80's a good...
Yeah, there we go. That's a B-.
That's way better than what I had in school, so...
Number 3. The theater scenes racked up many dull hours of waiting and retakes for the child extras. Tim Curry often came onto the stage in full costume and conducted sing-alongs with the extras, most of whom didn't know who he was. They thought he was actually a clown hired to entertain them.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. Number 4. Pennywise's signature red hair was not a wig. It was Tim Curry's real hair.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
He was hesitant of taking on this role because he hated heavy makeup after doing Legend, which almost... he got really claustrophobic and almost ripped his own face off.
Jeez.
Yeah, the makeup was so plastered onto him, he was trying to take it off quickly, and he was pulling his skin off with the makeup.
Oh my gosh.
So I understand not wanting to do a heavy makeup role after that.
Understandable, yeah.
So they minimized the amount of makeup he would have to have for this, so he ended up using his real hair made into a coif, which is fucking hilarious. Number 5, I don't know if this is true, I can't verify this, but I read this somewhere and I hope to God it's true. I read somewhere that Tim Curry has a terrible fear of clowns. And he asked for no mirrors on set while he was filming, so he wouldn't accidentally see himself in full makeup.
My goodness, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember. I read that. I am 100% sure I read that. So here, there it is.
Wow,
fucking crazy.
That's incredible. I love stuff like that with performers when you can really tell it like translates to the screen.
Yeah,
you can tell that they're like there's something deeper there.
So, Filmgazm contributor Caleb Leger sent in his opinion of the miniseries. So let's see what he has to say. Stephen King's It, the book that was my introduction to the twisted, fantastic mind of King. Yes, the first book I ever read of his was the over 1,000-page long It. Obviously, due to my love of his works, the book impressed me. After finishing the novel, my dad took me to the video store to rent a copy of the 1990 movie adaptation, one that has an interesting place amongst King's adaptations. The fact that it was originally made for TV means a lot was left out of the very graphic novel. At the same time, we got a now iconic performance from Tim Curry as Pennywise the Dancing Clown, and some admittedly great scenes with the child portion of the film. So needless to say, its reception among horror fans is interesting. Much like most of King's work, it didn't take executives long to acquire the rights for a TV miniseries. Originally envisioned as a 4-part miniseries, it was decided to condense the adaptation down to just 2 parts. While they already had to take significant chunks out of the book due to it being on TV, now they had to take more out to fit it into a total of 3 hours. Admittedly, this is probably the biggest issue for me. The movie moves at a pretty glacial pace and starts to lose my interest halfway through, especially the adult portion of the story. That's very true, and I'm worried about that for part 2. While starring a bunch of big names like Annette O'Toole and John Ritter, it's quite boring compared to the kid portion. Speaking of kids, look out for a young Seth Green in the cast. Also, a lot of the more gory, gruesome moments are left out due to TV regulations. Not all is lost, though. We still get that amazing performance from Tim Curry, a performance so good it has become legendary amongst the horror community. Curry is both hilarious and terrifying as Pennywise the Dancing Clown. He's clearly having the time of his life the entire time. Admittedly, this take at adapting Stephen King's famous novel isn't a complete win. A lot was taken out for TV standards, the movie moves at a glacial pace, and the adult portion is kind of boring. But we got Tim Curry as Pennywise, and that alone makes up for most of the negatives this film has. He definitely scared me as a kid, and remember, we all float down here. 6 out of 10.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I agree on pretty much all points with that.
Yeah, same.
Major pacing problem, the second half's forgettable. And that's a problem I'm a little concerned about with the new one, is this... Whenever people think of it, people think of kids versus clown. People think the kids banding together to fight the clown. Everyone kind of forgets about the grown-up part of this.
That's what I'm most excited about for the second one, is because I think because of who we have Bill Hader, Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy. We have these people because there's scenes, if they're constructed correctly, directed correctly, and acted correctly in the second half of it, that could be really good. All of them having dinner and kind of, oh my god, like rehashing what happened. That can be really good if it's compelling and if the performances are good. And so I think It Chapter 2 solely off of it being a way better production and having way better actors, I'm not scared.
Okay.
It might not be as much of a fright fest as part 1.
I'm hearing like it's way scarier.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. Fright fest meaning the first part is just bah bah bah. It's just action packed. Maybe this one will be like a little bit more terrifying, but
yeah,
I don't know. I think those scenes can be really good between those actors just talking and good dialogue. And I trust Andy, and I trust the writing, and I trust everything that's going on. So I'm excited for that part of this movie because it's so bad in this one from 1990 that I wanted to see done well. I want to see them coming back to Maine for the first time, and I want to see that like actually done well because that scene could be cool. That's
I agree.
I hope so.
Me too.
I really do. I believe I've got a lot of marbles in on this movie.
Thankfully, this was not the last we would see of Pennywise in film.
Oh no.
2017 gave us a reimagining of the story, and by God was it terrifying. It was directed by Andy Muschietti, director of Mama, another great horror film.
Oh yeah.
And the future director of The Flash and Roadwork, another King adaptation I can't wait for. He brought a sense of childlike innocence and true terror to this story that made it one of the most successful Stephen King films of all time, grossing $700 million globally on a $35 million budget. God damn. Woo! Way to go.
Talk about going to the bank.
It stars Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise.
Legendary.
In a role that he will be known for forever. He is absolutely terrifying as Pennywise, and he shines in the role big time.
I want to see this man up for Best Supporting Actor.
Ah, good luck. They tried with this movie.
I want it to happen so bad.
Skarsgård is the son of Stellan Skarsgård, famous character actor who appeared as Bootstrap Bill in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and as Dr. Eric Selvig in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just to name a few.
Yep.
He's also the brother of Alexander Skarsgård, who's famous for his role of Eric Northman on True Blood, Perry Wright on Big Little Lies, and he played the title role of Tarzan in 2016's The Legend of Tarzan. Mm-hmm. As for Bill himself, he portrayed the unnamed kid in the first season of Castle Rock, and has appeared in Hemlock Grove as Roman Godfrey, as well as films like Deadpool 2 and Atomic Blonde. So the Skarsgård family, pretty solid careers on everybody there.
For sure. I love Stellan. Love him. I always have. He's unbelievable in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. That's my favorite performance of his. But yeah, I think this guy, young Billy here, has quite the future ahead of him.
Oh my god.
And his work in Castle Rock is stellar. Stellar stuff. But it's going to be one of those roles that's going to be hard to break because this Pennywise character is so strong, but he's young enough to where it's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
And he's very talented.
Talk about a hell of a way to get your foot in the door. God damn.
Oh, man.
The kids are all fantastic in this.
Yes, huge difference.
Jaden Lieberher is Bill Denbrough. Sophia Lillis is Beverly Marsh. Jeremy Ray Taylor is Ben Hanscom. Finn Wolfhard is Richie Tozier. Chosen Jacobs is Mike Hanlon. Jack Dylan Grazer is Eddie Kasprak. And Wyatt Olaf is Stan Uris. Nicholas Hamilton plays Henry Bowers. And Jackson Robert Scott plays Georgie Denbrough, Bill's brother. Everybody gives it their all in this, especially the kids.
Oh my gosh, yes. There's a couple names there. Finn is Stranger Things, stand out. Everybody loves him. He's great. How about for a first name, Chosen? How fucking cool is that? And he's great. All these kids are awesome. I think my favorite is, what's the young girl's name that plays Beverly?
Sophia Lillis. Yeah.
She
oh my god,
is wonderful.
Way to go.
Wonderful performance from her.
And fun fact: Jack Dylan Grazer is Freddie Freeman in Shazam.
Oh yeah.
He's got a career ahead of him too. Yeah, everyone kind of popped with this one.
These kids kill it, man.
For sure.
They're great.
It's amazing. It has an IMDb score of 7.4, Rotten Tomatoes score of 86%.
Bullshit.
Too low?
So the 7.4. 86 is fine. 7.4 to me is a fucking crime. Yeah.
It takes place in the summer of 1989 and follows the Losers Club as they are targeted by the demonic clown Pennywise in the town of Derry, Maine. And I think what I like most about this film is that Andy Muschietti changed what all the kids are scared of, so as to surprise anybody who saw the miniseries or read the book.
Exactly.
Everyone was freaked because it was all different.
And the time period.
Yeah.
So now he's like, which doesn't change a whole lot, but it does. It's a different take. It's a breath of fresh air.
Well, I like, usually I'm not in favor of changing the book, but it worked this time. It worked really well.
Definitely worked.
And those are the scariest parts of the film, I think. Bill is haunted by his dead brother. Beverly's nearly dragged down a drain by clumps of hair and blood.
Yep.
Ben is chased by a headless zombie. Richie's trapped in a room full of clown dolls. Eddie's attacked by a leper. Mike is haunted by the images of his parents burning alive. And Stan is attacked by a very creepy painting that comes to life, and that fucked me a lot.
Yeah.
That was fucking weird. It's all insanely disturbing and memorable.
For sure. It's like these little chapters for each of them, and tells you a lot about each kid, I guess, what their fears are. And so much fun. It's done so well that it's long, but you don't really feel it because it's so kind of episodic. So cool.
This is such an atmospheric movie. It's so haunting.
It's brilliant. That's why I cannot stand that 7.4 on IMDb. Because it creates an environment that's so special.
It really, truly does. Ugh. Of course, over the film's runtime, they realize they are strongest together. They all bond over this freaky clown haunting them. And Pennywise doesn't fucking hold his punches in this movie. He is milking that fear for all it's worth.
Hell yeah, he is.
There are moments in this that are so unbelievably frightening. It's, I've seen this several times now.
Me too.
And it gets me every time.
It truly does. It's one of the only kind of, I guess horror is the only way to define this movie. It's the only genre of this movie. It's
absolutely
purebred horror.
Yeah,
and it's one of those that I really get freaked out by. I truly am just kind of like, cringing at times. And there's times where Pennywise is like, "Is this real enough for you? This is fucked up." Yeah, this guy's fucked. He has no rules. Like, I don't know. It's frightening. He's got so good.
The methodology of a serial killer, but with the mentality of something that's not human.
Yeah.
It's so freaky.
Oh, yeah. There's times where, he's moving in a way that has always freaked me out in horror movies when like something that's almost human and is walking like on all fours, and he does that where he's kind of like, oh, that shit gives me the heebie-jeebies, man. Well, that's what we live for. So
oh, for sure. Ugh. So they dub themselves the Losers Club because they have, they're alone. This is all they have. Again, terrible home life. Their parents, god damn.
Awful.
Stephen King has a motif,
That's
a
what
recurring thing of just bad parents.
Uh-huh.
And god damn, they are terrible in this.
Beverly's dad?
Oh my
what
god.
a piece of shit, dude.
He's fucking monster. But honestly, the one that bothers me the most is Eddie's mom.
Oh yeah, she sucks.
It's just...
She sucks. I love Eddie so
I love
much.
Eddie, but his mom is manipulating his health in a way that makes him completely dependent on her. And that's so fucked up.
Yeah, he's like going and they're all bullshit. All these meds he's getting. Man.
The gazebos.
When he it's all placebo. What does that mean? It's bullshit. Horrible, man.
Yeah. But they all have each other, and that's
the Losers Club.
The Losers Club, the important bond they all make to fight Pennywise.
Who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite loser?
Of the Losers, yeah.
Shit.
Not based off like who the actor is, but just straight up character.
The character.
Yeah, straight up character.
It's probably Eddie.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like Beverly. She's my favorite.
Me too. Yeah.
She's just
tough, man. They're all great.
Fantastic.
I like Ben, because, I've been the new kid, and it's tough.
Oh, yeah, Ben's great.
Yeah.
Especially in this one, man. Oh, my God. The kid sucked in 1990. That kid was terrible. But this kid is real. This kid's good. He's a good actor. I love how he's hanging on the library at first and just kind of just consuming all this stuff. He knows more about the city than all of them.
And he's new.
Fascinating. Yeah, really cool.
Love it.
The only one I wouldn't have hung out with is Stan.
Yeah.
He's just kind of.
He's there because he's friends with one of the other ones. That's the vibe I always got.
Yeah. Richie's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I love how often they use the word fuck in this. Because in that 1991, it's so wholesome and feels like it's held back so much. This is they're just come on, you fucker. Yeah. It's just how young boys talk to each other.
Well, most of their dialogue was improvised. I love that.
That's what I hear. Yeah, that's what I've read.
It was just natural
amazing.
chemistry. So great.
So cool. And that kid, Finn's got such a huge future after Stranger Things in this. Oh, boy. He's headed for stardom, yeah.
Some of the creepiest shit in this movie is stuff you don't even see until your fourth or fifth watch. Because there's just smiles in the background, and you get the vibe that Pennywise is always watching them.
The whole movie.
It's so fucked.
He's somewhere on the screen.
It's creepy as hell, man. You'll just be looking and there'll be just a grin on a billboard back there or something.
It's frustrating, yeah.
So smart. Ugh. So, they realize only their bond can defeat this clown.
Yes.
So, when Beverly gets captured by Pennywise, the rest of the losers band together to go save her and kill this fucker. They save Bev, they fight Pennywise, proving that they no longer fear him. And Pennywise disappears down a hole before crumbling into dust, which is kind of weird considering that they didn't really beat him.
Yeah, no.
You can't kill fear. You just can't.
It's always going to be there.
And that's what I love. It's almost like this town's fear is bringing him back.
Yes.
Which would make perfect sense, because this is Stephen King's universe. There's always something to be afraid of.
Exactly. It really all does wrap itself together just beautifully, with the little bow.
But I love the scene where they're kicking his ass. It's so satisfying.
Well, one of my favorite lines is Richie when he's like, "You made me do this, and now," he grabs the baseball bat, "I'm gonna have to beat this thing's fucking ass.
I'm gonna kill this fucking clown."
Yeah, he just fucking charges in. Yeah, no, I really, there really are times where I'm like, I want to be with them really bad, holding the weapon, just fucking going down these crazy, going to these haunted houses and just being dumb, but taking this thing on with my friends because no one else believes it, no one else can see it. When they're cleaning the blood together in Beverly's restroom,
that was oddly touching.
It really is. It really is. They understand when they understand best, these kids, when they need to stick together, and that's really, really beautiful to watch.
Do you think in the new one, Bev is going to end up with Bill or Ben? Because that's kind of a new thing in this one.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I've seen the actor who plays Ben, and he's a very good-looking guy. But he's not very well known. And then you got James McAvoy.
Yeah, but it would fit the character if it goes with Ben. But at the same time, Bev and Bill have this history now, so I don't know. I'm okay with either one, really.
Me too.
Which is weird.
out of nowhere, she's with Richie.
Yeah. I like Bill in this a lot. He's like a born leader.
I adore Bill.
His motivations are so pure.
I adore Bill, and I adore that his friends, like, there's the scene also where Richie's like, he didn't stutter once, you know.
He doesn't even really want revenge that much. He just wants to know what happened to his brother.
Yeah, he just wants justice. Like, I just want knowledge and peace of what happened to Georgie.
Oh, man.
What? Also, we didn't really, at the beginning of the movie, I wanted to mention this because it was so big with the trailer. The trailer was that scene.
Oh, yeah.
When the, SS Georgie goes in, and you have Pennywise the first time in the sewer.
Hiya, Georgie.
That's like 7 minutes into the movie, and immediately you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'm here.
God, talk about starting strong.
Yeah, nowhere for me to go. It is one of the best opening scenes to a horror movie that you could possibly have. It's
and what about, like, they went there. You see that kid get ripped. Like, his arm gets ripped the fuck off.
And then there's the shot above, which is a beautiful shot above him when he's, like, squirming in the rain. And it's from above the, you can see the raindrops pouring, and it's a beautiful shot. And then he just gets sucked into the sewer. Like,
Jesus. Opening credits.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man. Jesus. The second I saw that, I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah, okay. Because I of course, knew about the 1991, and I was just like, and I heard about it, and I was like, oh, they're doing it again? Good, okay. Like,
my biggest concern at the time was how far are they willing to go?
Exactly. And then I saw, I guess when I heard, like, pop, 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 I was like, they're actually making it scary. Oh, cool. Like, that's great, because the old one's not.
The way he holds it, the way Pennywise, like, looks in, like, another direction and with both eyes, his, like, whole demeanor, the way he holds himself, he never fucking blinks. It's mind-numbingly scary.
I'm thinking about it right now. My head I kind of get numb thinking about it. This is one of the all-time scary villains, characters of all in horror.
Absolutely. And
who would have thought Bill Skarsgård would
It was almost Will Poulter. Remember that?
Yeah.
When Cary Fukunaga was going to do it.
He could. I don't think he'd do as good of a job, but he can probably pull that off.
Well, I remember the concept art. It looked fucking awful.
Yeah. He
looked like the zombie clown from Zombieland.
Yeah, there you go, yeah. Which wouldn't have had this effect, obviously, yeah.
Like the perfectly straight makeup and everything.
The costume. Huge for me. The kind of like pale, like off-white.
He looks like a...
Like old British, like... it's like... what the fuck?
What's that?
He looks like Roman Polanski with the fucking...
The clown from the opera... Pagliacci.
Oh, yeah.
He's got this operatic clown thing going on.
And it is terrifying.
He's like a doll you'd find in like a Dickensian toy store.
And when he like gets hit, or like when there's that thing that the like spear goes through his head, he gets scarier. When his teeth come out, it gets scarier. When someone bashes him in the head, it gets scarier. Like anything that happens, it's like no.
There's a bit at the end when they're beating his ass, and he like goes into the well, and they like rush him, and he just goes like ah. It's so perfect.
Oh,
you get the vibe that he's afraid of them.
Finally.
Just in that one scene, like oh shit, and. Like, now, they made it personal, so shit's gonna get real in the new one.
Oh, this new one's gonna be...
I can't wait.
Epic.
So, here's some Filmgazm facts for It 2017. Number 1. Though CGI was used in some scenes, Bill Skarsgård actually is able to move his eyes in different directions. He was able to do that in some scenes. Wow. Props.
Yeah, that gives a whole new light to...
He could contort himself, too. There's some scenes in that where it's not CGI, it's him holding himself weirdly.
Fuck.
Not the kind of character you want to go method for. This was cool. The two finalists for the role, Bill Skarsgård and Hugo Weaving.
I gotta say, I would rather have it been Hugo Weaving. I love Hugo.
That would have been too much, man.
It would have been, and he might have gone to, like, try too hard, almost. Because he can sometimes go there.
Oh my god.
And Bill is this guy who's like, nobody knows who I am. I'm just going to kind of be comfortable and do my thing.
Well, Skarsgård got the role because he was able to play a more fun and childlike Pennywise, in addition to just plain creepy, which is what Weaving had in spades. He couldn't do playful, he was just straight up scary.
Just scary. With those eyebrows, and they... Oh, God.
Oh, I don't even want to see Hugo Weaving in
clown makeup. Throw it in the fire!
I just picture Agent Smith the whole time. Like, fucking, ew.
Well,
now I want to watch Fellowship.
Yeah. Well, I always want to watch Fellowship.
Number 3. Other actors who were rumored to play Pennywise included Johnny Depp, Tilda Swinton, Richard Armitage, Tom Hiddleston, Jackie Earle Haley, he would have been good, Jim Carrey, Kirk Acevedo, Willem Dafoe, too much, Paul Giamatti,
Too much.
Doug Jones, and Channing Tatum.
No, none of those. No.
I would say Jackie Earle Haley could pull it off.
Maybe, yeah, and then, that's... Tilda Swinton would have been fucking fascinating.
That would have been weird.
But I don't know. I'm just really glad it was a guy that nobody knows
Creepy,
about.
androgynous Pennywise.
Channing Tatum, there's too much star power there.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah, I'm not going to doubt him. I love him, but
I'll doubt him for Pennywise.
I don't. He's too big. Paul Giamatti, no. Willem Dafoe, they might be a little too old, those two
Doug
guys.
Jones would have been interesting.
Jim Carrey, too distracting. Because Jim Carrey. Johnny Depp, way too distracting.
Yep.
Tom Hiddleston, no. I just don't believe that he could do it. And Armitage, I don't know. Maybe.
Kirk Acevedo is such an out of left field
That's
pick.
the one I was going to say. Who knows? Maybe. I like those out of left field picks. Skarsgård's an out of left field pick. If you saw those names before he got the role.
That's very true.
I'm glad it's someone, that this can kind of be their masterpiece.
Number 4. Director Andy Muschietti has stated that he intends to make a supercut version with this film and It Chapter 2, using extra footage from the latter film and scenes that have not yet been shot. So we're going to get like a 5 or 6 hour cut of It.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm in on that. Let's do it.
Jesus. Number 5. To coincide with the 1989 setting, A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, is featured on the movie marquee. Director Andy Muschietti also revealed in an interview that a Freddy Krueger form was considered as a fear for one of the Losers Club members, and one that Pennywise would assume. However, it was ultimately scrapped out of not feeling right and wanting to stick to the trauma and childhood fears without straying too meta. I think that's a good choice. If Freddy Krueger just popped up in this movie, it would have been
fascinating.
Would have been cool, but it would have been distracting as hell.
For sure.
But Freddy, this is basically Freddy Krueger, is Pennywise.
Yeah. Essentially.
According to Bill Skarsgård, there was an unnerving deleted scene that involves Pennywise terrorizing a young mother in the 17th century. He states, quote, "There was a scene we shot that was a flashback from the 1600s, before Pennywise was Pennywise. The scene turned out really, really disturbing. And I'm not the clown, I look more like myself." He goes on to say, "It's very disturbing and sort of a backstory for what it is or where Pennywise came from." Timothy Simons, who auditioned for the role of Pennywise, confirmed this a few weeks after Skarsgård revelation in an interview on a podcast called Throwing Shade. Simons states that he read in the script that the scene requires the character to threaten to kill a young woman and her entire family if she doesn't hand over her baby for feasting. He says, "It was Pennywise way back at the beginning of Derry convincing a woman to give him her baby to eat. It was scary. The thing that was scariest about it was that it was very direct. It was, if you don't do this, these are the things that I'm going to do." And they were all terrible. Ooh. The scene is one of the several scenes shot, yet ultimately not used in the film. It remains to be seen if the scene will show up on DVD. Well, it didn't show up on DVD. The director's cut or in the sequel. Fuck. Do you think that's too far? Eating a baby?
No. Yeah, yeah, of course. I think it is. But no, I'm not saying I would like to see that on the screen, but I would like for that scene to happen. Why not? Add to the brilliant resume of terrifying shit that's already happened in the movie. So
I don't know. We already know he's evil and willing to do this stuff. Do we really need to see that to know that?
I'm curious about. Bill said himself that it looked more like himself than the clown.
And they did do that scene in the trailer where we get to see a glimpse of Bill Skarsgård on that. Oh shit, that scene's gonna be it's gonna be in the sequel.
Yeah.
I fucking know it is. Oh god. Ugh, well, we'll see.
Maybe that's what people mean when it's more frightening,
Oh,
maybe it has more disturbing things in it.
Oh no.
Because it really is gonna be hard to beat the tempo of the 2017 one.
True.
Because that's just how the story goes. It's just, when they're kids, it's just a little bit more fun, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
yeah, we'll see, I guess. It's not for us to decide.
That's it for Filmgazm facts on It. But once again, we have Caleb Leger's thoughts, this time on the 2017 version. So here goes. Thank God for this movie. After a very troubled production, I was losing a lot of hope in this new adaptation. But then traction started to finally happen. A director stayed on board, casting was being done, and the release date wasn't changing. It finally was looking like we were getting this movie after all. Not only were we getting it, it was looking good. There was the promise of an R rating, doing 2 movies with the first being the kid portion of the novel only, and the trailer looked great. It looked even better after the colossal disaster that was The Dark Tower earlier that year. Oh yeah, fuck that movie. Q release date.
It's not a movie.
It quickly became a hit amongst fans and critics alike, with many saying it was a far superior adaptation. It would also end up becoming a huge hit financially, making well over $700 million in the box office. Yeah, horror is really dead. Ha.
Ha.
It's never gonna die. We should know that.
Fuck that. Because we'll be here.
Yeah. Audiences were loving it. The success of this adaptation would quickly begin a King Renaissance that we are all still enjoying to this day. Almost all of the issues I have with the original film are fixed in this adaptation. Yeah. The pace moves much more briskly. Even the kid portion of this story is significantly improved. The child actors all do great at feeling like a group of friends banding together to battle an unknown evil. I wish the best in their respective careers after this film. Since this was made with an R rating in mind, not nearly as much is taken out from the novel. The gore, language, and more excessively explicit dialogue is very much intact. Except the child sex orgy. It's very awkward to read, and I'm glad it's the one part of the novel that is yet to be adapted. I can live without it. Yeah, I think we all can live without it. Now, Pennywise the Dancing Clown himself, this time played by Bill Skarsgård. He knocks it out of the park. He plays the part to terrifying perfection. From little moments like when he looks like he's drooling over the thought of eating Georgie at the beginning, to the more overt scares, he is a constant joy to watch. As for which performance I like better, both him and Curry are equal to me. It's a tough one to decide. Ooh, I gotta disagree with you there, buddy. Skarsgård all the way.
I think it's pretty damn easy.
Rose-colored glasses, man. Think about it.
It's fine to say, like, I like Tim Curry's performance better, but Bill Skarsgård did a better job. It's just the fact. I don't think it's really close. It's not really up to them two as actors. It's really the production.
I agree.
Pennywise looks brilliant in this one.
Yeah.
He looks brilliant. No matter what actor was going to play him, he was going to look amazing. So,
2017's It is a far superior picture to the miniseries.
Oh, yeah?
It improves on it in every conceivable way, except maybe Pennywise, depending on your preference. My only complaint is I wish there was more of the titular clown, instead of the various forms he takes. But that really speaks to Skarsgård's performance, since that is what Pennywise does. He exploits your fears to his advantage. With the sequel about to be out, I can't wait to go visit Derry again and see what Pennywise has in store for us this time.
Agreed.
9 out of 10.
Nice.
And that's all for It. I give it a solid 8. Scary as fuck. Vast improvement on the miniseries, and dare I say the novel. So what do you think?
9 for me.
9 for you.
Solid 9. Close. It's close. It's close.
Right on.
I adore it.
I don't know what's holding it back for me. It just, for me, it feels like an 8.
That's fine.
I don't know what it is.
That's a great score.
I'm sure it'll grow the more I watch it.
That's what's great about it, too. You had mentioned a few minutes ago that what's fun about rewatching it is there are, like, scary things that you miss.
Yeah.
Maybe him smiling somewhere. So maybe it'll rise, like you said. Give it a little bit of breathing room.
For sure.
I'll give it a 9, yeah. I do want to say...
Yeah.
I really like the use of Pennywise in the other forms, and I also like that he's not used too much in this 2017 one. I think that's part of why it's perfect to me, close to a perfect movie, is the villain is used to me to perfection. Those various forms to me are fucking scary.
Yeah.
And like he's saying, Caleb's saying that that kind of just goes to show what Bill is capable of, what the CGI is capable of. So, I really enjoyed that part of it. I think that is something that people do. They're like, oh, I want more Pennywise, like straight up Pennywise. I don't know, man. I think some of the other stuff's pretty fucking scary. I think the scene, I'll say this and let you say yours, my favorite scene from that one is when Beverly gets fucking attacked from the drain, and I just think that scene is so scary and so rewatchable, and her reaction is exactly how just so frightened, and she seems like she's so small. Like, what just happened to me? Like that this kind of evil can occur. Well, I don't want any part of it.
Yeah, totally, man.
Oof. What's your favorite bit from this one?
Easily Stan in the painting. That shit.
It is.
Oh my god.
So disturbing.
It's just him like walking past it, not looking at it.
Yeah.
Looking at it and being like, ugh. Putting the book back. You hear the painting fall. He goes to put it back, and she's not in the fucking painting. And then you hear a flute.
Yeah.
Like, god damn. Oh my god. That resonated with me way more than I thought it was going to. And then you see her again later on in the sewers, like
no.
eating his face. Fuck, man.
Beat her.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Way to go, Andy. Jesus.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
Can't wait to see what you do next with this.
I agree. This is heavily anticipated by us. We're both seeing it this weekend. We cannot wait, and of course we'll be right back to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. We'll have bonuses soon.
Great stuff. And they set up so beautifully. I am so excited to see Bill Hader as Richie Tozier. You know, I love all it's going to be amazing. Jessica Chastain. This is like an Oscar-worthy.
James McAvoy.
McAvoy, a guy who's been everywhere. You know, I cannot wait.
Whew.
Super, super excited for this one.
Whew. Well, that's all we got for it. So let's take a look at what happened this week in film.
Yes.
Peter Capaldi, Pete Davidson, and Taika Waititi have all joined the cast of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, set for release August 6th, 2021. No word yet on who they're playing. They joined returning cast members Margot Robbie, Viola Davis, Jai Courtney, and Joel Kinnaman, as well as newcomers Idris Elba, Nathan Fillion, Storm Reed, John Cena, Steve Agee, David Dastmalchian, and Daniela Melchior. Very much looking forward to this.
Me too.
I think it's going to be a huge improvement on the first Suicide Squad.
Waititi is my guy, so...
Yeah, I fucking hated that movie.
It's a joke.
But James Gunn, fuck yeah.
No, I'm in. It is exciting. We got a long wait, but it's alright.
And he kept everything that worked. He kept Harley, Waller, Boomerang, and Flag. Ditched the shitty Joker and the Enchantress and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
So, props. I think this is going to be good.
I agree.
Next up, Himish Patel from Yesterday has joined the cast of Christopher Nolan's upcoming spy thriller, Tenet. I really liked Yesterday. That was a very fun movie.
I still haven't seen that one yet, man.
Himish Patel did a great job.
That's what I hear. I hear even if you're not even the biggest Beatles fan or anything, that you'll have fun just kind of watching him.
But if you are a Beatles fan, you're going to fucking love that movie.
I'm a big, I really like the Beatles.
It was very sweet.
Well, I like albums by the Beatles. I think they have a couple that are bad, but that's for a different podcast.
Oh boy, I can feel the hate mail already.
No, I seriously, Sgt. Pepper's is probably the best album ever written, but they've got a couple earlier in their film discography that are.
Oh yeah, all right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
I think that once they hit a certain point, they got really, really, really good.
For a while, it was very much just like I love my girl.
Twisted
and how about that? It was that kind of over and over again. I think
it's pretty bad. Yeah,
I get that. But they are still the Beatles.
Yeah, I love them. I love them. Again, Sgt. Pepper's changed my life. Yeah, it's great. It's one of my favorite albums of all time.
Next up, Chin Han has been cast as Shang Tsung in the new Mortal Kombat movie. You'll know him as Lao from The Dark Knight, as well as a bunch of other stuff. He's great. Awesome casting.
Yeah.
And this, fucking yes. Hiroyuki Sanada has been cast as Scorpion. Fuck yes.
Let's go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect casting.
You know him, he was in The Wolverine. He was in recently Avengers Endgame. He was the Yakuza boss that Hawkeye was fighting. He's fucking awesome.
He's going to work. It's going to work.
Great Japanese actor. Can't wait for this movie. Could be more pleased.
Can't wait.
Next up, Netflix and Martin Scorsese's upcoming gangster film, The Irishman, is going to clock in at a whopping 3.5 hours long. Fuck!
I'm okay with that.
It better be good.
It will be.
We're talking Godfather 2 lengths here. I want this to be good. Jesus. 3.5 hours. You can't cut anything?
No, I mean, the new It that's coming out is 2:45, and that's already intimidating.
You add another hour on top of that, you get The Irishman.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's Scorsese. We'll be all right.
I hope so. Well, next up, TV actress Valerie Harper has died at age 80 of brain cancer. She was known primarily for her role as Rhoda Morgenstern on The Mary Tyler Moore Show and its spin-off Rhoda. Mm-hmm. She will be missed. She was a TV powerhouse.
Rest in peace.
And finally, Richard Linklater has begun work on his next project, an adaptation of the musical Merrily We Roll Along. The only caveat is that he is going to spend the next 20 years of his life working on this movie. Jesus Christ. He says he wants to allow the characters in the film to age in real time. And really, I would only trust him to do this, because he's already done it once.
He's like, why not do it again?
Linklater has already accomplished a similar feat with 2014's Boyhood, which was filmed in real time over 12 years, and was nominated for 5 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor for Ethan Hawke, Best Director for Linklater, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Film Editing. It won Best Supporting Actress for Patricia Arquette, and was a very good movie.
Hell yeah.
But 20 years. Just Dude, like, why?
Because he's crazy. He feels like he's done everything at this point, so...
But that's such a... The thing about Boyhood, if he loses any footage, the movie's over. Like, if anything gets accidentally erased, it's done.
Especially Boyhood. Boyhood, everything was film, so, like...
Yeah.
He did that, you know... I love Richard Linklater, so... anything he does, I don't really care. You know, he's warranted all of my respect, you know?
Yeah.
So for me personally, I'm not speaking... I don't think he's, like, a renowned guy that everybody needs to know about. But personally, as a fan, I love a lot of his stuff. You know, the guy made fucking School of Rock, so...
But 20
No, I know, this is a whole new thing. Yeah, of course.
That movie will be coming out in, like, what, 2040?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, the thing is that he didn't talk about Boyhood. He just did it. And then it came out. So people didn't really know that when it first started filming it, Ethan Hawke just fucking came out with Training Day, you know, and you didn't know that because Boyhood, you know, this is probably more backstory than these people even want to know, but whatever. Give a shit. So with Boyhood, they got together once a year, one weekend. So they're Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they just hang out and film every weekend. So that's all they were doing. I assume it'll be a similar approach where it's not like this, hey, we got to get together for a month every year, and like I assume it'll be more of like I think he just wants to prove repetition is really cool, and repetition in film is very rare to find because people would just want to rehash it, remake it, and use new actors all the time. I think he's going to like prove if you use a little patience, you can make something really special. This is more than a little patience, but it is Richard Linklater. He has done this before. I'm all in, and I cannot wait. When that does come out, I will be seeing it.
Me too. Just to find out what the hell he did for those 20 years. I'm just blown away by that. That's even...
Well, you know, you could say the same thing. What was he doing for 12 years with Boyhood?
I did say that when I heard about that. I was like, what the fuck was he thinking?
And a lot of people watch it and they're like, well, nothing happens. You're like, well, that was the point.
Well, no, it's like, when I saw the movie, I was amazed at how he was able to do this.
Yeah.
And I do think he should have won director for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, he lost to
Iñárritu for Birdman.
Birdman, so I can't complain. Yeah.
But I've watched Birdman again. I have not watched Boyhood again. It's a one and done kind of movie.
It's also 3 hours, so that's kind of tough. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just if Merrily.
Oh yeah, Birdman is amazing. So yeah, that's tough.
But if he's gonna spend 20 years on this, I hope it's good.
Yeah.
So, best of luck.
Well, we're gonna forget about it, and then it'll come out. We'll go, oh yeah.
When we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of this podcast,
because he's gonna come out with 10 movies in between that time.
That's true.
So, you know, he's always working.
He's always low budget indie film, so he can do whatever. Mm-hmm. Oh, props! All right. Good luck.
Yeah, have fun.
That's all for this week, folks. Next week, oh boy, one of my favorites. When the Jews return to Zion and a comet fills the sky and the Holy Roman Empire rises, then you and I must die. From the eternal sea he rises, creating armies on either shore, turning man against his brother till man exists no more. 1976, arguably the greatest biblical horror movie ever made, The Omen. Tells the story of a young boy named Damien Thorne, who, unbeknownst to his politician father Robert, is the one true Antichrist and the natural-born son of the devil. We'll focus primarily on the original classic, but we will also talk about the 3 sequels, the unsuccessful TV series Damien, and the 2006 remake. Don't miss it. See you next Wednesday, boys and girls. And remember, we all float down here.